Alrighty, CNT120, we're looking at Chapter 2. Previously we had looked at MAC addressing, we looked at port numbers, and we looked at IP version 4 addresses. We're now going to look at IP version 6 addresses. And just like we did with the pinging with IP4, we're going to do the same thing. I'll set my Windows machine up with an IP, set my Linux machine with an IP, and then we'll ping between them. So, just for simplicity's sake, just like I did before, I'm going to put my VM, or just minimize my VM for now. I'm going to work on my Linux machine, get it set, and then I'll work on the Linux machine, just so we kind of avoid some confusion, if you will. Now, to do this, I need to pull up the MAC address of my Windows machine. So I need ipconfig/all. I want to have my MAC address handy. So here is my Ethernet 3. There we are. I need my MAC address handy. You'll see why in just a minute. So I'm going to keep that handy. I'm now going to go to where I make my network setting changes. Open Network and Sharing. Network or Ethernet 3. I'll go to my properties here. And previously I did IP4. This time we're going to say IP6. We're going to go to properties. And right now it's set for obtain IP address, IP version 6 automatically. Well, real quick side note. If I go back to my IP config and come down through here, I'll see that my machine does have a FE80 IP version 6 address. Well, that's like a link local address. It's not a loopback, but it's a link local. So my machine already has that. Okay, we're going to put our own static IP in. So again, I'm going to highlight my MAC because I need that in just a minute. So I'm going to say use the following. Now, IP version 6 address formatting, hopefully you remember from your reading. If we do FD00, FD00, there we go. That is a prefix to indicate this is a kind of like a real IP version 6 address. It's a real valid usable IP version 6 address. So we're going to start with FD00. That'll be the first 64 bits, if you will. That's my prefix. And the remaining part of my IP version 6 address is going to be the tail end of my MAC address. Just like I show you over here, I'm going to use the last bit of my MAC address to put in for the tail end of my IP version 6 address. So I'll come over here, and I'm going to use these last 6 digits. So I'm going to make this 2A:26:23. And the reason we're doing that is my MAC address and your MAC address should be different. So these will be unique. I'm then going to tell it the prefix is 64. Well, when I click in here, it automatically filled in 64 because it could tell what I was doing with this prefix. And again, I don't need a default gateway. Okay, so again, I'm using the prefix FD00, : and then I'm using the tail end of my MAC address here for the back end of my IP version 6 address. That's what I'm doing. That's all I'm doing. So I will say OK, I'll say close, I'll say close. I'll come over here, and I can just do ipconfig this time. When I do ipconfig, I'll look for IP version 3, or excuse me, Ethernet 3, there he is. Here is my IP version 4 address. It's still there. I'm not doing anything with it. Here was that link local IP version 6. And here is my IP version 6 address, like my valid IP version 6 address. There is my Windows IP version 6 address. There it is. Well, we're going to do the same process on Linux. So I'm just going to minimize that. I'll close this for now. I'll bring my VM up. I'll start with command prompt, ifconfig. And here we are. I need this right here. I need that part of my MAC address. So I'll go to my network settings. Open my network settings. Actually, I'll turn my NIC off. Go to Edit. IP version 6. Manual. I'm going to do my FD00, : and then I need the tail end of my MAC address. 292153. In my case, 292153. I'm just going to verify that. 292153. There we go. 292153. Prefix 64. The first half is network, if you will. The remaining half is host, if you will. That's what we're saying with that. I'll say apply. I'll turn my NIC on. And there is my FD00292153. Come over here and do an ifconfig again, and I should see here is my IPv6 address. There's the link local. There's the link local. It's there already, but here is my FD00292153 IPv6 address. So there's how we set an IPv6 address on both machines. Well, just like we did before, let's come in here and do a couple pings. So let's go back to our Windows machine and do a couple little pings here to check our system out. So I'll open up my Windows machine, and I'm going to do a ping space -6 : 1. That is pinging my loopback. So I will ping my loopback here to see if it's recognizing IPv6. And it is. I'm getting a reply from. I'll do the same thing on Linux over here. In this case, it's ping 6 : 1. And again, it recognizes IPv6. Control-C to stop there. It recognizes that. So my loopback is working. Yay! Well, now I'm going to ping my own IP. So on my Windows machine, let's ping my own IP. It's up here. Where is he? Let's scroll up here. Let's grab it. Let's do FD00. And I'm going to hit enter to copy this guy. I'm going to do ping -6 for Windows. I'll do right-click, I'll paste it in there so I don't have to remember to type it. And I'm pinging my own IP. So Windows machine recognizes its own. Good. I'll do the same thing over here. Let me do a little bit bigger. Here we go. I'll find my FD00 up here. I'll just right-click copy on this guy. I'll do ping 6 space, right-click, paste. There's my own IP. I'm pinging myself. Yay! Okay, so far, I set the IP, I ping my loopback, I ping myself. I set the IP, I ping the loopback, I ping myself. Now we're going to try to ping each other. So over here, I'm going to try to ping my Linux machine. So I will do a ping space -6, and I will plug in FD00 : and I now need 29:21:53. That's the address of my Linux box over here. 292153, and we'll give it a shot. Hey, there we go. We're getting a reply from. Yay! So I will do the same thing now. I'm going to pull up my IPconfig just so I can find my IP over here. Here he is. So on this side, I will do ping 6, and I'm going to do my FD00 : 2A:26:23 and ping my Windows machine. There we go. Now I'm getting a successful ping of my Windows machine. Alright? And just like before, let me minimize my Linux box right now. I will open up my file on my Windows machine. There's my text file, my MAC address here. This was my ping version 4. Over here on this one, I'll grab my ping version 6 I did. Here's my last ping version 6 I did where I pinged my Linux box. So I will copy that guy. I'll hit the enter key to copy it. I'll come over here and paste it. Now I have my IPv6 ping. There he is, ping 6. So I'll save that so I have proof that I did my IPv6 ping. I will open up my VM and I'll do the exact same thing. I'll open up my little text file. Home, Documents. Here's my Linux text file. I'll go down here to the bottom. And I'm going to grab my last ping. I'll highlight that guy. I'll right-click copy. Over to my text file, right-click paste. And there's my ping 6. I'll save that guy. I can close those. And the only thing left is to put my settings back. That's the only thing left to do. So, just like before, I'll do Windows first just to keep things similar or consistent. I will, on my Windows machine, I'll right-click on my network settings over here. Go to Ethernet 3, Properties, IPv6 Properties, Obtain IP address automatically obtain. I'll do all the closes. Give it a second, I'll open a command prompt. IP version or IPconfig. Oh my goodness, I'll get it yet. There we go, IPconfig. Scroll up, I'll look for my Ethernet 3. and I no longer have that IPv6 address. I'm just playing back to the FE80 link local. I'll do the same thing on my Linux VM. Turn my NIC off. Go into properties here. IP6. Remember, I need to delete these lines. Make sure I'm doing that. Then I'll go to automatic. Apply. Turn my NIC back on. I should see my 172 IP version 4 address and my FE80 link local address on my Linux machine here. I will do an ifconfig and verify that that is gone too. I only see my link local address. Alrighty, so there's working with IP version 6 addresses, static, pinging, and then switching back to dynamic on both Windows and Linux.